She's back. I have been known to send a nude.
I'm not trying to be sexy when I'm like low-key threatening someone.
What would my higher self want?
That could be the game changer. Every woman on planet Earth should be required to be single.
Pop the suppy, tell the man to take a bath. UTI is kind of like your body rejecting a man that's not good for you.
Something's not right.
Their red flag is they're a mama's boy. When do you draw the line?
Oh boy, okay, my answer's not gonna be fun.
Hello. I have been
I'm
so
back.
excited that you're back. She's back.
I'm Yasmin.
Yaz is traveling, and so I have a beautiful co-host today sitting in the wonderful Rory.
Thank you.
If you didn't watch our last episode, I think it was 2 before this, you were here, and you wrote a book. It's called The
sitting right
Horrors
here.
of Dating, sitting right here.
That was like
This
the first thing I noticed.
gorgeous red book. So you gave me a copy and I had given it to my coworker. And then around that same time that she started reading it, the episode came out and people are like preaching the book of Rory. My DMs, it was like a floodgate of people messaging me questions. And so I was so excited to have you back.
Cool and sweet.
So I thought I could just do like some popcorn follow-up.
Okay, great.
A
Let's
state
do
of
it.
the state.
State of the state.
Do you ever?
Spoiler, the state of the state. It's a little rough, I think.
Yeah. How, like, do you ever feel like with like younger girls, like holding on to your like word and what you're saying, like, does it feel like a lot of pressure?
Well, I try to encourage people not to do that.
Yeah. I'm like the opposite. I'm like
don't do that.
reading and highlighting.
Yeah, but I guess the thing is that like, look, there are some opinions I feel like I hope I have till the day I die.
Yeah.
And there are other opinions that like I would be embarrassed if I still held.
Because it's
yourself.
always evolving.
Yes.
I love that you said that because I feel like when I've been in bad relationships, like I have like such a clear vision that's black and white and I'm like, this is the word. And now that I'm in a healthy relationship, I do
there's
find,
ebb and flow and
or like friends will come to me to be a little more like self-deprecating and I'm like, no, it's actually like not cool.
Right.
Growth.
I also think when it comes to, I mean, I think the reason why I'm good at giving advice has less to do with some of it is my lived experience, but it's that when you give advice for so long, you start to notice patterns that it's not personal. It's like not my personal opinion. And also my friend Meredith Goldstein, who is the Love Letters podcast columnist and host and has been one of the longest running advice columnists in the country. I asked her, because she was famously single for like 9 years, but writing one of the most popular love columns in the country. And I said to her, like, what makes you good at giving advice? And she's like, the thing is if you let people talk long enough, they'll give you the answer and then you just repeat it back to them. And that's the thing, is that most people, when they're asking questions specifically about their relationships, they already know the answer. Yeah. And they just need somebody to like hold the mirror back up to them and guide them a little bit, or reassure them that they're not crazy, or give them the confidence or the push that they need. Yeah. And I think so for me, like whenever I am talking to my friends or really anybody, but especially with my friends, I always let people know, like, I will support your choice, whatever you choose. Yeah. Like I've literally had conversations with friends where I'm like, I want to just say this so we have it on record. I think you're in an abusive relationship. I know that's going to be like hard to hear. Sit with it. Think about it. I'm not telling you have to leave. I want this on record because one day you'll come back and you'll look at this and you'll go, you were right. But like, I'm here. I support you. Ride or die. Well, like, let's, whatever you want to do, I'm down.
I had a friend and we were really close friends and she was going through a really funky relationship and I wasn't saying anything. And then I finally said something similar to what you did. And then our friendship kind of jellyfished because I felt like she was embarrassed. And then like a year later, when it was just like a year of awkward like reschedules, I just called her and I was like, do you feel awkward because I said this and you think that I'm judging you? Because I'm actually not judging you at all. I am here to ride with you till the end. Right. But I just had to say this to like, I wouldn't be a good friend if I didn't call it out. Correct. But I do think a lot of times with friendships, you can be scared to like express what you really think because you can be afraid to like push a friend away. Or at least I've dealt with that.
And it's also like I use it's embarrassing to be pathetic around the people who love you and want the best for you. And when I say pathetic, I mean that like for myself. Like, and I don't think that when you're pathetic in love, like that's so human. Because really at the underneath of that is just wanting to be loved, wanting to be cared for. And I don't think that that's pathetic or embarrassing at all.
Right.
But in the face of wanting to be loved, we've all done some pretty pathetic things. Like letting somebody treat you poorly and then making excuses and trying to spin it and justify it to your friends is pathetic behavior.
Yeah.
It's okay. We've all done it. I've certainly done it. I wrote a fucking book on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I do think that that's exactly what happened. And then when somebody holds that mirror up to you, it is hard to go, yeah, no, I'm choosing this.
Right.
I'm choosing to be in this. Whereas like when I said it to the friend that I was talking to, we had like established, I mean, like I would get calls at like 8 a.m. with a pin dropped being like, yeah, I need you to pick me up. And she'd be like barefoot on the side of the road. So like this was a very different situation. And it was still, by the way, it was still done with like a lot of love and care because I do think it's really hard if I were to say like, your boyfriend, I hate your boyfriend sucks. It doesn't really give you anywhere to go.
Yeah. The runway is fucking short.
The runway is short. You either break up with your boyfriend and we keep it cool.
Yeah.
Or now there's this like weird thing.
I think like also instinctively I find I have been like really defensive.
Of course. Why
and
would
like,
you be?
yeah, I'm then like villainizing like the best person in the room having my back.
Yeah, but
and I'm like, how
your
evil.
partner is also a reflection of you.
So true.
So when somebody comes for your significant other, regardless of how great or shitty they are, it feels like they're coming for your character because you picked them and you're continuing to pick them.
Exactly what you said, like about your partner being a reflection of you. That is the advice that I got that led me to break up out of my most toxic relationship.
Wow,
like it was not
amazing.
all of the cheating and like all of the crazy shit. It was that a friend had said that to me because we were talking about how like your core group of friends, you all end up kind of being like very similar or like you'll get like each other's
of
traits.
Your 5 closest people.
And she was like, yeah, you know, I think people kind of like are getting weirded out by you because like they think that you are like him because if you weren't, why would you be with him? And I remember I got in my car and I was like, oh no. Like, and it took like me thinking other people are judging me to get out, which maybe that says a lot about me too. But like, it's just wild.
No, because it's just certain things will just click.
It's like the light bulb. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like not to bring it back to my book because that's not what this is about, but I do think
we need
advice,
to plug the book.
Like why I talk about be your own best friend is like sometimes it's easier to go 30,000 foot view and go, would I want this for Regan? Would I want this for my sister? Would I want this for my mother? Like, and it'd be like, oh, fuck no. Like I would judge the shit out of them if they were in this. And it's just sometimes it's easier to like take yourself out of it and then you can see it clearly because we'll make excuses. We'll justify because they align with our inner story, which is that like, well, you know, I don't deserve the kind of love that is in fairy tales or like this is the best I can do or I can make it better. Whatever the little mind movie you have that plays. Like, anyway, woof.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
Okay, number one question we got. What is your hot take on nudes? So like sending nudes, like making a sex video.
I have some hot takes on that.
Okay, because I have been known to send a nude. And up until recent, yes, but up until recent, I have now kiboshed that because I'm just like, let us stop this. Like, I just don't think when you're in it, you realize. And, like, I was willy-nilly sending the nudes and, like, screenshotting old nudes, sending 5 nudes to a guy I've been on 3 dates with. Like, I think the culture of sending nudes, at least in my friend group, was, like, very hot for a second. And then now that I'm in my very healthy relationship, my boyfriend jokes, he's like, you never sent me a nude.
You're like, I'm like, you get it
yeah.
IRL whenever you want it. Take a mental photo. It'll last longer.
But I would love to know what your thoughts are.
So personally, I don't do it.
Yeah.
I don't do it because there is I'm like, can I say his name? Yeah, I'm sure I could say it. So Marty Singer is an attorney who famously helped like all of the women who had all of their nudes leaked, of which I had friends. Who, by the way, the friends that I'm thinking of one friend specifically who quite literally called Apple.
Wow.
And then called Apple support. And she was told it was fine. And then her nudes got leaked, which is terrible. Because she was basically
I'm like
it
gonna
was like
vomit.
prompted to like reset your password. So that's like what had happened. Anyway, the advice that I think was given to me via him through his daughter, who like I'm friends with the whole family, and also that man helped me in ways that I'll never be able to repay him. So I love Marty. But he said something to probably Nola, who said it to me, and was like, just, you have to assume that it's going to end up on the internet. Never take a photo that you wouldn't want on the internet.
Yeah.
So my philosophy on nudes is like, if it's hot
IRL.
and you're okay with this ending up on the internet, then go ahead and send it. I would never send one with my face in it.
Yeah. Made that mistake.
Well, and look, I'm not saying that it's going to happen. It's just you have to go in with that mentality. So, like, look at it from that perspective. Make sure it's something super fire. It will always be violating. Like, it's not. I'm not to say that it won't feel violating, but there are scales of embarrassment. And it's like, if one of the hottest photos of me ever taken got leaked on the internet, it would still be a violation. But I could also be like, well, at least I look good.
Yeah.
Is all I'm saying.
That is the mic drop, though.
And then I would tell everyone, and have told people, have a way of organizing it and let the person know that you keep track of nudes. Like, I know that it feels fun and free and whatever, but like, I'll just straight up say like, oh, I don't do nudes, or like, nudes are boyfriend privileges. Yeah. And even still, it's like, when you're a boyfriend, you don't need the nudes. So
you don't need the nudes.
What are we doing here?
It is like such good. I just like love that we're talking about this, because I feel like maybe the space that I was in, working in Playboy, like everyone is fucking sending the nudes. And then I think when everyone's doing it, you're just like, this isn't a big deal. Like, my body, my choice. And now that I'm in.
It isn't. Until someone sends it to a friend that you're like, wait, why do you have my nude? Like,
I think it's just something good to like get women thinking about. Even if you're sending the nudes, like, I just wanted to bring it up because I got a few questions about it, just for like your take. I would
put a number. So what I do is I put like a number or an emoji or a sign, something like you have to mark that photo. Yeah. And then go into your notes app and know what photo went to what person, so that if it's ever leaked, you know exactly who it is. It's
really smart.
And tell them.
Love.
So they know.
Yeah.
If this ends up in anyone else's hands, like, I straight up say, like, all of my nudes are marked.
I love this. It's really smart.
And, like, you know, just as a reminder, it is absolutely illegal in the state of California. There are, like, crazy revenge porn laws. And, like, I will fully come for you. Yeah. I know that that's not sexy, but also, like, if we're going to do this, it's the same thing as, like, a conversation around sexual health and, like, wearing condoms and what's the plan for that, and are you tested, and what are your results, and like all of that kind of stuff. Or if like disclosing if you have something, like, I think all of that is, I don't know why we're dancing around it, and there are sexy ways to have those conversations. Now, I'm not trying to be sexy when I'm like low-key threatening someone, so like that's my choice, but like you could do it in a way that's still hot.
Agree.
And
I love that.
Yeah. So I just like think everybody should, if you are going to do it, be responsible so that you have a plan, because unfortunately I have been in positions where I have felt very taken advantage of, hence Marty really coming in and saving the day. And if I had to live with some of those things, it's just, there's a bitterness that I feel like eats away at you. Yes. And I just would never wish that on anyone.
And like set yourself up for success. I think
Yeah.
as I've gotten older, I've just become so cognizant of like decisions that I make that just don't set me up for success. And I'm like, let's just like give it a little think.
I know. I love to say, like, what would my higher self do in 5 years from now when I have everything that I want? I'm living my absolute dream life. Like, how does she handle this situation? And then that's what I do.
I love that you said that.
Because, you know, if you're jilted by a situationship or your ex or whatever and you like want revenge, I'm like, okay. But in 5 years, when I'm with the person that I'm going to like spend the rest of my life with and I have everything that I want, when I look back, how do I wish I handled this?
Yeah.
Or what would I have done? And it's like, probably nothing. Probably like turn around and walk away with grace.
I love that you said make decisions like as your higher self. Like, what would my higher self want? Because I feel like for me, in times of chaos, I am known to like spiral the fuck out.
Which, by the way, is so
and I am like demon time and like can't be stopped.
K-pop
and
hunters.
like, I am like making decisions, and it's like a known thing in my friend group where it's like, oh no. And I've started lately, and it's usually like work related. Like if I'm spiraling out at work, then it like kind of seeps out into like my other ether. And lately I'm just like, okay, what would like me as totally fucking calm, so happy, like what decision would I make? Because if that's not the decision, like go on a walk, like put your phone down, like don't drink wine.
It's interesting. So I recently started somatic therapy.
Yeah. Can you tell me more about it?
Yeah. As you probably know, listeners wouldn't know. I don't think I've ever talked about this. No, I've never talked about this. So at some point in the last few weeks, months, we'll keep it vague, I was home when 3 masked men tried to break into my home.
It's like,
and technically there were 4 because one was a lookout / getaway driver. And I was on FaceTime with a friend and I like heard something weird. I pull up my security camera footage and I can see like 3 fully masked walkie-talkies acting
my
in
worst
unison.
nightmare.
Like truly was like out of a Liam Neeson movie. And I was like, whoa. And of course my immediate thought was, you don't want to die. Like I was like, you're going to get murdered. That's not what they weren't trying to murder me, but it doesn't matter because like that fear, that adrenaline, that surge, that is fear. That's a ton of emotion, adrenaline hitting my cells. So even like the way it resolved was fine. Like the guys ended up getting away. So many LAPD officers showed up. It ended up being fine.
That story is so traumatizing. Like
it is
you
traumatizing.
talking about it, like my heart's racing because my biggest fear is like a break-in like that. Like when I used to never sleep as a kid because I was so deathly afraid of like being kidnapped or like a robber. And like now where I live, like I have like a crazy alarm system and all the things, but like that doesn't necessarily stop anything. So just like my heart is like so pained by this for you.
Well, I handled it very well because not the first time something like that has happened to me. So I had thought about this. I had a plan. I executed everything that I thought I would do, everything that I ever wanted to do in that moment. I executed quickly and effectively, and I got out, and the police response was fast and very large. And, you know, everything, quote unquote, went smoothly. And then the aftermath was I kind of bounced back really fast. And what freaked me out about that is like what I know about chronic illness and like just overall health and wellness is that kind of stuff lives in your body and you need to get it out because down the line that could contribute to chronic illness. So I was like, shoot, I got to see someone because I didn't cry.
Wow.
Yeah. So then I went, oof, okay, that just like makes me nervous. Like I handled this a little too well. So I am seeing this woman in Venice who is amazing. And we've been working on somatic therapy. Like people have different, there are different types of somatic therapy, but the idea is to release the tension, to release the trauma from your body. Okay. And so it's, whereas like talk therapy would be like, we would talk about it. This is like, we might talk a tiny bit about it, but then she's like, where do you feel things in your body? And then she will go in and body work it out of you.
I need to do this.
I will give you her number.
I'm so intrigued because I think weirdly right now on my For You page, I've been getting a lot about this, but they say like if you're in a kind of very toxic situation and you get out of it, your body feels relaxed. But like 3 to 6 months later, you start seeing like health.
And that is when I got the most sick I've ever been in my life. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like you think your brain is like, I'm finally safe. I've made the right decision, or like this is over. I'm okay. But then you start to see it like flare up and show in your body.
So in 2018, after I got out of a very abusive relationship, which was, by the way, so short, it was like 3 months. But it's the vampire story.
Yeah.
So it was so detrimental to my nervous system. And there's a lot of new studies coming out with like long haul COVID. Long haul COVID is a really good, like COVID was awful. So everything I say is like, just know that I feel like it was absolutely awful. However, it gave us a really great test subject. Like, millions and millions and millions of people caught the same virus, and now we know that long haul is a thing.
Yeah.
And people always knew that random doctors have been trying to say that long haul happens with all viruses. And one of the things that I have noticed is that when you look at people that have ME/CFS or long haul or some of these or lupus or some of these other illnesses, it is, yes, viral, like specifically with Epstein-Barr, but then also there's this element of like nervous system dysregulation. You can kind of trace it back to like a bad breakup, a car accident, something toxic, like really a lot of stress at work. There seem to be like a weird symbiosis of the two.
Wow.
And I'm sure that there's tons of studies being done. So this is like anecdotal on my part, but I've also been tapped into this community since 2017 when it like really affected me. So I pay attention and I care deeply about this. But you know, I'm not a scientist, not a doctor. So the vagus nerve, nervous system regulation is something that has been like way more important to me now as a preventative thing. Yeah. And
I'm so inspired by this. I'm like geeking out.
Well, yeah. I mean, there are things that people can do if you can't afford somatic therapy. So we're talking about this and like I am seeing someone. Yeah. But there are so many people online talking about it. Like you said, you're For You. Yeah. YouTube videos, whatever. Like people do a lot of things with tapping. And ultimately, where I'm at now is we'll go in and instead, we're not even talking about the break-in. Like, boop, did that in a session. Yeah. It's now about the stories I tell myself, the limiting beliefs. It's now about rewiring old fears and limiting beliefs and trying to reprogram my brain with like better narratives, better stories, confronting the things that have been holding me back, which is so interesting because, as you know, like I've written extensively about that, but this is just another way to come at that. And I'm into it. Yeah. Like I'm really cool. Into it. And I think it's great. And I'm also just like, I'm down to try whatever.
Yeah. I've always had like a weird pinched nerve, like on this side of my shoulder. So I had a really bad flare up a few years ago.
Is that your right side or your left side?
My left side. And I went and saw a physical therapist, and she did not touch my shoulder at all or my neck. She did like
right
chest.
Side?
She did chest work,
okay.
But they were these like little taps. And so I'm laying there. I'm like, this is so expensive, not covered by insurance. I'm like, girl, like I cannot with the witchy taps right now. So she was like, oh, like, do you feel like you have any like repressed emotion that like happened? And like was asking me these questions. And I was just being very bratty because I'm like, I'm in pain. I'm like spiraling out thinking I'll never walk again. Just, you know, like not in the mood. And she was like, you know, I just want to let you know, I think you're going to get bronchitis. So please go get oil of oregano from Whole Foods and Wellness Formula.
And you were like, and I just need to let you know, I'm going to be so pissed when I write the check in 30 minutes.
And like, she was like, so she explained to me like how your chest holds this, like blah, blah, blah. It's all connected. So 4 days later, pinched nerve totally gone. I'm like more nimble than ever and sick as fuck with bronchitis.
And you were like, uh-oh.
And I'm just such a believer now in the body work. But it feels very woo-woo with like the tapping. So when you said that, I was like, oh my gosh, I remember. Because it like, I don't know. I just think like being open to figuring out like what our body, like that book, like The Body Keeps the Score. I read that and there were parts of it that felt a little rough, but like overall, I just think it's interesting.
People within that community have also been very critical of that book. So like I would say that book it was a gateway for a lot of people to realizing like, oh yeah, the body does keep the score, but also practitioners aren't like in love with that book specifically.
Yes.
It is imperfect. But yes, it is this idea that, you know, we've lived in this meat suit our whole lives and it has collected so much emotion. Yeah. I mean, that's why like when you're getting a massage or something, you could like suddenly feel like you're gonna cry.
I always cry. And like
that's totally normal.
Yeah, when I go to get massages, I always say like, I'm really sorry, I might cry. I'm unwell. But it's like such a release.
Or maybe you are really well.
Right.
Maybe you're actually really tapped in and connected with your body.
Yeah.
Because lots of people will never let themselves cry. And like I would say they're unwell. Those are the walls you have to like really be worried about.
Talking about health, another question.
We made it through one question.
No, sick. I love, but like they're all connected. A second question that I got a lot of, and I was like, okay, you guys, like Rory is not like a doctor. I don't know, like maybe go see like your like general care, but you are my doctor.
I'm a lot of people's doctor, and my sister would freak out if she heard me say that. Wait, hold on. Actually, like, I want to like say something about that. I think that medicine is so important, and I really respect people who have gone to medical school. But it's an imperfect system. Yes. And I have learned so much more from just speaking to other women specifically, about my body, about my health. And for decades, gynecological pain, women's health. And that's like white women. And we're not even getting into women of color. Holy fuck. They've just been like silenced and ignored forever. Yeah. They're still dying giving childbirth. That is how I've like realized that like certain things, I'm not crazy, I'm not alone. And when I got really, really sick in 2018, ultimately it was like random communities on Facebook and speaking to other people.
Isn't that so powerful?
Where I like found the medicines and I was able to advocate for myself and heal myself. And I had a 5% chance of recovery. Wow. And I am one of the 5%. And now I help a lot of other people, not by like quote unquote diagnosing them, but basically just saying, have you tried this? Have you thought about it this way? Do you know about this? So anyway, I know that's serious, but
having the community like that though is so important, because I feel like even for me with like hormone health, like I love talking to other women. Yes. If anything, you at least feel like you're not isolated. And it's community with that is helpful.
And medical school is not focused. We're really good at acute care in the United States of America. Chronic illness, not so much. And a lot of the things that we're kind of talking about or dealing with are like chronic, maybe not illness, but chronic issues, whether it's like hormone, perimenopause, actual illnesses. Anyway, sorry.
The girly pops want to know, what are your takes on UTIs? And do you feel like a UTI is kind of like your body rejecting a man that's not good for you? And when I saw this question, I was giggling because I thought, gosh, the times that I've had really fucking severe UTIs, I have been with just like the worst fuckboys ever. But I have gotten them like chronically.
Have you ever been tested for mycoplasma or ureaplasma?
No.
You should.
But they're better now.
Okay.
But I still am like open to testing.
So mycoplasma and ureaplasma are two like new STIs that are not on a regular STI panel. I just made a video about this because want to preach it from the rooftops. Yeah. Like as of right now, I feel like the only people really talking about it are sex workers, like whether they're like porn stars or OnlyFans or like people in that space who have like been like, no, this is a thing and this is happening. But then I get girls that have like confided in me or talked to me about it. So I know, oh, this is like a thing that is also happening in Los Angeles. And it can basically mimic other symptoms. So you'll think you have BV.
This is crazy.
Or you'll think you'll have like chronic UTIs. And ultimately at the root of it, it's ureaplasma or it's mycoplasma. So I would just say, go to your gyno, urgent care, wherever, and like advocate to get those tested on your next STI panel just to be sure. Because that could be the game changer. And then in terms of your body, like I too have had that experience where I have been with someone and then it is like just swift and horrific. And my mom was the one that said
horrific is iconic.
My mom was the one that said,
it's true.
I think you're allergic to him.
Yeah, it's true. Allergy panel.
And I was like, no way. And then you know what? Yeah, I was for sure. So I don't think that it's necessarily like if you get chronic UTIs, because you also might have a small urethra. So like, I don't know. If this is like a thing that you're getting with everyone.
Right.
Then, or like throughout your life, then it could be like something you need to learn about your body.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing in that you're being given these like warning signs to investigate something. But if it's just with this one person, then something's not right.
Maybe he belongs in the bin.
Yeah, or like maybe he needs lessons on how to wash himself.
Yes.
Or stop sleeping around.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Facts.
But and then wait, what is the oh gosh. I just was thinking of manna. What's the supplement to take that's like really, really good for UTIs? Manna something.
I don't know. We'll look and we'll drop it.
Yeah.
On the screen.
Everybody thinks it's like cranberry juice, but it's I wish my phone was right
Manna
here.
root?
No,
I just made that up. Rory.
No, that's
You're like,
definitely
no.
not it. That's not it. Wait. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay.
And I can.
Okay, love.
Yes.
Okay, the other question that I loved, because I love talking about a mama's boy. So what do you do if someone is a mama's boy, but there's all these other amazing qualities about them, and like their red flag is they're a mama's boy? When do you draw the line?
Oof. I think the line is like when he cannot prioritize. So I guess it depends on how long you guys were dating, right?
Yeah.
But like, I do think that is a issue if like you are not being prioritized. Like if the mom is going to always trump you, that's going to be a huge problem if you guys get married, have kids in the future, because then like your word will never be higher than hers. Yeah. Which it shouldn't be like this weird hierarchical thing, but like it is going to if you guys start a family. Yeah. Right?
My thing with mama's boys, it's like I'm sure you've seen all these.
D-Manos.
Oh, D-Manos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Not manna root.
No. D-Manos is like, or if you ever feel like a UTI coming on.
Okay. That's a good wellness tip.
You should
love that.
Pop those suppies.
Pop the suppy, tell the man to take a bath.
Maybe
kick the man out.
Yeah.
I feel like with mama's boys, like I just think like anytime I've been in a relationship and I'm taking care of the boy and being like the man,
we can't do that.
So
you can't be the mama.
No. So it's like being the mama.
Nobody wants to fuck their mom, and if they do, that's a
fucked up baby.
Red flag. Babes. Red flag.
I'm gonna say this. I once slept with someone.
Oh no.
This is a hot take. I'm just gonna say it.
Oh no.
But he like wanted me to call him a baby and like me be called a mom. I just can't even say it because it's
I have
just
also
like
done that. Yes.
Why?
Wait,
like,
was this guy 6'5"?
No.
Okay.
Oh my god, if we had the same guy asking us to be his mom, I would love that.
Well, here's the thing. That guy could have asked me to call him truly anything, and I would have done it. So I'll show you a photo.
Okay.
And you'll be like,
then I'll be like, okay, mama, it is.
I truly was like, and now I'm your mommy. Well, let's go.
Love.
I have never had this happen where when we were walking down the street, as many men as women would like their necks would snap.
Really?
This guy is 6'5.5", so ripped, beautiful, like an Adonis body.
Yeah.
Beautiful face.
Gorge.
Crazy. And like really smart.
Yeah.
Has a finance job at one of the like entertainment companies in Los Angeles.
Mm.
Like he is the CFO. You know,
Yeah.
just like this is it was a situation where I was like,
I'm like gonna be like Googling. Everyone's like, who is this?
you'll never figure it out because I'm keeping it vague, and I wouldn't want to ever.
No, totally.
You know, but
yeah,
he got some issues.
Okay, so no to being the mom. The mama's boys. Yeah, I think just to like your point, it's like long term, what do we really want? Like, I don't know who asked this question because it was anonymous, but like if I could say anything to this person, I would just be like, this sounds like a long haul ahead and it never gets better. I only think it will get worse because eventually the mom will get older and he will probably need to be there for her more.
I mean, I do think it's worth a conversation, though.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people don't realize it, and, like, you can call it out. You can say, like, hey, but come with evidence and don't come, like, in attack form. Like, if it were me, I would try and write down, like, well, why do I feel like this is a mama's boy? Like, what is my evidence? What constitutes it? Is it that he constantly like moves our plans? Like if we have a date night and the mom wants him to come over, like he's gonna drop that to help his mom.
Great
like is
example.
It like that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Is it that, you know, we're on the phone and then he drops everything for like figure out what it is so that when you go to have a conversation you can be like, hey, I'd like to have a conversation about boundaries and about our relationship and like setting some new boundaries for us or seeing if you're even willing to.
Yeah.
And then ask for the things that you want. Because then also when it happens again, or maybe it won't, maybe he can like change and he's like not aware of it. But then if it does come up, you've at least established like a track record. So you can be like, hey, it's happening, or you're doing that thing that we discussed.
Yeah. I think a mistake I've made is just like sweeping that under the rug 100%. And to your point, like not bringing it up and then imploding. Yeah. And then I look like a mother hater. And I'm just like, no, I've actually just have repressed emotion.
You're like, no, I just actually hate the pattern that I endured silently for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Literally.
While you had no idea that I was seething.
I want to know, because like I have two more questions.
Okay.
And this was actually, I lied. I said one of the other ones was the most popular, but this one was.
Oh.
Being a serial monogamist. What is your take on like, is that because we're all scared to be alone if you're a serial monogamist? Is it because you feel like you identify like better with a partner because like you like to like do things together and you see your life as like more full because you spend it with someone? I would love to just kind of know your thoughts
like
on that.
Because I think it's different.
Yeah, for women.
Men and women, yeah. Oh boy, okay, my answer is not going to be fun.
I'm ready.
Intense.
Let me put my seatbelt on.
Yeah. You were conditioned to be that way. I think there's a couple of things. I think that one, there's probably a lot of shame around casual sex. And just that in general, it invites some exploration into thinking about that. Like, why is it that you don't feel like you're allowed or that dating can be fun or that you can date multiple people at once? But in terms of like relationship to relationship to relationship, I think that, yes, there is something that you're running from in terms of like loneliness and like avoiding that feeling. And there's nothing more powerful than being single. Like I actually think it should be required. I think that every woman on planet Earth should be required to be single in her mid-20s to 30s. Anytime in between there, like from 25 or 26 to wherever, you have to have 2 years of singledom. Yeah. Because you will learn so much about yourself and you will really reaffirm your boundaries and like you just won't settle for as much stuff. But I also think like, well, marriage is DEI for men. And if you think about it, like there is a reason why actual studies, is not my opinion. Studies show that when men get married, it improves their health. They live longer and they are happier. Wow. And when women get married, it decreases their lifespan. They die earlier. They're less healthy and they are less happier. Cool. Okay.
It made me feel so sad when you said that.
Sorry.
It's just,
I didn't come up with this.
Yeah, I have read this. Like, I've read a lot about this because for a long time in my life, I was like, I'm not going to get married. Like, I like myself. Like, I vibe out independently, like, quite well. Like, I love hanging out and having alone time, like with me. And I'd say like I've done a lot of work to feel comfortable sitting alone. Because before I would say I was living alone in West Hollywood. This is like maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. And I could not be alone. Like I'd always have people over, had to be talking to someone on the phone. Like I could not sit with myself. And I saw that and I was like, okay, I need to course correct and like really work on like embracing this moment. And I think now when I like future plan for my life, I'm like, I don't want to lose that. And it feels like very fearful to me.
How did you start?
How did I start like becoming comfortable being alone?
Because I think there's somebody that's going to be listening and going, wait, that's me.
I would always call someone. So if I was just like, I'd get home from work and be like putzing around the house, doing dishes, like making dinner, I'd always have someone on speaker and I would literally just go through my whole list of friends and just see who picks up. So when I knew that I was doing that, because it's like you're having a conversation with your friend and I'm not even really listening. I'm more just like, I need somebody else on the line.
So that I'm not alone.
Yes. And I just started sitting with the anxiousness.
Is that because your thought, okay. So if you weren't holding space with somebody else or like
it's like too much time to think. I'm like mulling over something, swirling over something, like having anxious thoughts. And so I just was like, okay, get uncomfy. So play music, have activities, read a fucking book. If your mind wanders, go back and read the page again. And like, I just had to be really uncomfortable. And it was honestly like even more anxiety inducing to start. And then I just kind of became comfortable. But it took a long time. It was not easy for me. And I used to be like a chronic walker. And I remember my therapist was like, I'm worried that the walking is becoming like a chore and it's not joyful. Because when your body's having anxious feelings, you're like, I have to walk. Versus like, she was like, did you look at the sky? Did you look at the ground? And I was like, no, I could not tell you because that's almost in like this blacked out, like anxious walking state.
Fugue state, yeah.
But now I feel like so healed in that space and I'm proud of myself for putting in the work.
Yeah, that's cool.
But like in my relationship now, I find like we spend so much time together because my boyfriend's like living with me. And I really like push for us to still have like independent moments. And this sounds silly, but like if he's watching a show in the living room, like I'll go to my room and close the door and just like hang out in there.
That doesn't sound silly at all.
Because I'm just like I don't know if that makes sense, but like for me, it's like held me accountable.
Sense. Yeah.
Because I don't want to like get back into old habits where then like.
Well, codependency sucks.
Yeah.
It's just hard. That's an anchor that is a very heavy one to like drag with you. And it'll put you into situations and dynamics that aren't necessarily good for you solely because you'd rather just not be alone. Which is, I think the conversation about serial monogamy, it's like some people just only want to date one person and they're inherently monogamous, and that is great, and I'm not shitting on that. And that is totally healthy and normal and fine for someone. A lot of other people are doing it, I think, because of other reasons. And I think like there is a reason why a bachelor in his 50s is just a man who like never found the woman that made him want to settle down, and a single woman in her 50s is a spinster.
Yes.
And we're like, ooh, what's wrong with her? How come she was never chosen?
It makes my blood fucking boil.
But the difference between those two is societal programming. And that is sort of what I'm saying by like my answer isn't great, because it is going to ask you to like look at like the system that you were born into, and why is it that everything has been pushing women to settle down and settle down with men and get married and have a very specific life. And it's like because it benefits the patriarchy. So it doesn't necessarily benefit women. That's not to say that you absolutely can't find the love of your life and make it benefit you. And that is what I want for people. But you have to look and know the game that you're playing. Know like what is influencing you. Understand like what the male gaze is versus the female gaze. Understand like why you think certain things are beautiful or hot. And it's like, is that because of your own opinion or because we're trying to be sexy for men? And once you start to think about those things, maybe you'll embrace singledom a little bit more or monogamy, because again, a spinster was just an independent woman who made her own money in her 30s in like the 17th century, in the 1800s. So like that was the literal definition.
Right.
But when the birth rate started to decline it took on a negative connotation. So they were just women who used to spin wool and were financially independent.
Yeah.
And that was like an actual path that you could choose.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing happened with like the Salem witch trials. It was like when the patriarchy starts to weaken, or when the birth rate starts to drop, which by the way we're seeing right now,
Yeah.
it is not great for societies, well, for patriarchal societies, because one, patriarchy is the structure of the society, but if you can't control the birth rate, you can't control the economy.
Right.
And so all of this sounds a little like conspiracy theory-esque. You don't have to go full crazy tinfoil hat into it, but it's so important to understand the context.
Yeah.
Because I have been influenced by so many things that I was just unaware of. From
Right.
advertising to the shows you watch, to the books you read, to what we think of as being the ideal relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it weird that we all
It's
think
crazy.
that marriage and to stay married for your whole life is the ideal, even
Yes.
though the marriage rate is like
Yes.
50%. Like,
It is so wild, but I love that we can talk about it now.
yes.
Because my mind was only opened because my parents are divorced. I always
But was
thought
that shameful?
it was like when my parents got divorced, I felt like I didn't have any friends whose parents were divorced. So to me, it felt like very shameful. It wasn't like in this time where it's like everyone's parents are divorced and modern families. But so I put in my
When
head.
in reality, it was great that they did that. Because
Yeah.
that was what was actually
yeah.
the best choice for not only them, but also probably the family.
And when I think of it now, I'm like, amazing.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was like, if I ever get divorced, I will let everybody in the world down. And it's like this crazy pressure where now I'm like, I have friends getting divorced and I'm like, amazing. This is a new start. Like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
You know?
But that is, I think, like,
Yeah.
if somebody's talking about serial monogamy, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, cool. If that's what you, like, if you've thought about how you've been influenced, if you've
Yeah.
thought about all of these things and it's still the path you're on, sick. Great. Love that for you. It's just really think about the context, the cultural context, the societal pressures, all of that stuff when it comes to sex, relationships, and all of that, and weigh that against how you feel about those things. And if you can take yourself out and you still align with that, then great. Like, I believe in monogamy. I've tried other ways and like it's just what I want right now in my life. Again, strong opinions held loosely, like in the future might change that opinion, but that is what I want for me. And
I love strong opinions held loosely.
And
So great.
but I'm aware. I'm like aware of the fact that the choice that I'm making is in some ways very aligned with kind of how I've been like influenced and pressured. But because I've learned about all of this and taken all of this in, it feels like it is my choice. And there are other things about like the patriarchy or like I don't want the marriage from the 60s. Right. So it's like it is
I will not be pulling a roast out. I'm like, no.
No, and I think we're also like, gosh, we're talking about prenups in a different way. We're talking about relationships in a different way. Like, just even the distribution of like home labor is now a conversation, which was never a conversation.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
It
My
is
boyfriend,
wild.
he was like, oh, I know you really like to do your nails, so like I'll do the dishes. And I was like, let's fuck tonight. Because I was just like, oh my God.
But that's incredible. I'm
Yeah.
like, yes, that's the goal.
Yeah. And it just was wild because when he said it, it wasn't like from a place of like trying to suck up or like he's in the doghouse. He's just like a man helping me with the dishes. And it's funny how these small things, it's like
Which,
that
by
would
the way,
be looked at as
should be-
emasculating.
Yeah, but that also should be
It's like the basic.
It's just equitable.
It is the
and
ground
we're like
level.
freaking out about equitable.
No, I know. And even when I just said like, let's fuck tonight, it's like, it makes me feel sad that like as a woman, that to me is like, oh my God, I must tell all my friends he said this. This is the nicest thing ever. But like, it is what it is.
Yeah, but my grandma was trapped. She didn't have an education. She couldn't leave.
Yeah.
And so when my grandfather died, she felt relief. And I never met my grandfather. So I don't feel like I'm like shitting on him specifically. And one of the gifts that my grandmother gave me before she died was she allowed me to interview her. And the only rule was you have to answer honestly. And one of the things that I kept bumping up against was like, what is your biggest regret? And her biggest regret was not getting an education. And I thought that was so selfish because my grandmother had done some fucked up things to my mom. And so I went in very novice documentarian with an agenda and wasn't getting what I wanted. And in the end, it hit me like a ton of bricks because I always wanted, I mean, I wanted the answer to be like, I would have done things differently with your mother. And instead, she kept going back to the education thing. And it wasn't until we started talking about my grandfather's death. And she said, you know, it was a relief because, like, I had no options. Like, I didn't have an education. I couldn't get a job. I couldn't leave. Like, I did the best that I could with what I had. And then I felt like it gave me such a perspective into my grandmother was imperfect, for sure, like we all are. But she did the best with the cards that she was dealt. Yeah. And she really was stuck in a relationship that, like, look, she might have loved him. And even if she did love him, it wasn't what she would have chosen for herself. Yeah. The whole way through. And as a result, she was not always the best mom to my mom.
Mm-hmm. My mom has a similar story with her mom. And I just think when you were saying that, it's like daughters are so protective of their mothers. Yeah. Yes. I ride for my mom so hard. Like, I am psychotic. But, like, with her mom, I had a lot of issues. And it was a very, like, poor relationship because I saw how she was treating my mom. And I think very similar story. Like, she is not educated. She was given, like, a life that, like, she had to lead. Like, she was in an arranged marriage. And so all of her decisions that she made are, like, based off of her opportunities she was given.
Survival.
Yes. And
we don't necessarily make the best choices when we're trying to survive. And I guess that is sort of the theme of, like, I know it got really heavy with the monogamy question, but, like, I think that is sort of what I'm saying about it's also okay if you had an arranged marriage that ended up being the love of your life and it really was what you wanted and you're so grateful. That is not shitting on that at all. We all have our own path and our own journey, but it's so important to realize that we are 50 years away from financial freedom for women.
So wild.
The Equal Credit Act passed 50 years ago. Right. And bodily autonomy, which was birth control, became legal for single women 70 years ago. This is wild. Not that long ago. So, yeah. I have a fun final question for you. What are you vibing right now? Like, what do you love? Like, do you have any obsessions? Do I have any obsessions?
Like, I want to hear, like, I know. So I want to hear, is there, like, a little beauty hack? Is there a playlist? Is there a song? Is there a coffee? Like, I just want to know, like, what are the vibes?
Oh my God. The vibes are, I'm so into health and wellness for me, not for anybody other than me. And I love experimenting because I started biohacking again in 2018. And so right now I've been prepping my body and my detox pathways to start injecting glutathione to see if it affects my melasma. Okay. I realize that's pretty intense.
I was like, what's the playlist? I love. Your skin is fucking crazy.
I have melasma and I'm before I leave this earth, I will figure out, like, I can fix topical melasma. That's, like, not I know how to do it. I know the playbook, whatever. I want to figure out the mechanism. I will point it to you when we're not on camera. I don't need the whole world to notice it.
Is just so beautiful and stunning. It's like hard to look at your eyes the whole time because, like, your face is, like, glowing and like an angel. It's so nice. Real.
Clip it. But I am curious. Like, so I'm about to be on 4 different peptides. Okay. But I will do them at different times. And the glutathione of it all is, like, I have the one MTHFR mutation, slow comped, fast CVS. And if that doesn't mean anything to you, then, like, don't be injecting peptides, right? Or, like, I also want to caveat it with, like, you know, I do a lot of research and I have been in the game for a minute. So like, that's the thing that I'm obsessed with because eventually, hopefully I can break it down in a way for other people to maybe help them. But,
Okay. So somatic therapy, we have to follow up on.
Get a high frequency one.
Okay.
For zits.
Love.
That'll kill the bacteria in your zit. It's the best.
And what's like your song right now? Like what are we listening to in the car? The song of the week.
We're podcasting. We're listening to podcasts.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Song of the week. I mean, I kind of vibe out to Wicked.
I love that. Okay. So the next time you're on, which hopefully isn't too long away because I'm obsessed with having you here.
Well,
we just need
hanging out.
updates on your obsessions.
Okay.
Thanks for answering everyone's questions.
Anytime.
And
Thanks for having
the horrors of dating.
Oh, yeah.
Read this and get your pencil, pens, and highlighters. I took notes.
I love that about you.
I love you.
Yes, love you too. See you soon.
Okay, yay. Bye.
See you Tuesday.